In this video we are coming to you from Gold Coast, from Bruce Linton Jaguar, and we were charging at the Supercharged Pacific Fair, and Gabriel started walking towards us. Hello Gabriel.
Hi, how are you guys?
And he said, hey guys, have you test driven I-Pace? And of course I haven't yet. Hannah and I attended a launch in Brisbane a long time ago now, and this is our opportunity today, quick impromptu test driving I-Pace. Thank you, Andrew.
No problem.
That's all just one pedal driving there, so I haven't touched the brake pedal at all.
Yes, I actually love that way of driving.
Yeah.
Because to switch foot from the brake to accelerator and the other way, it takes a lot of effort.
That's right. And of course this guy can't hear me coming.
Yeah.
There's no sound.
You have to pat the horn or something.
Is this air suspension?
No, not this model. It's optional, you can get it, but this one hasn't been fitted with it.
Our one is also springs, and I can see that this is much softer ride than...
Yeah, it has got a different ride, absolutely. So if I just do that, put park on, the car will turn itself off when I open the door. Your regenerative braking is on high and the creep mode is turned off.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I like as well, creep off.
Did it just lock?
Yes, so the door handles now fold in.
Oh, yeah. So does it have like safety locking for all the doors?
All
or?
the doors,
Yes.
yeah. This guy is committed. Let him pass. I can feel the aircon on my bum working perfectly, so that's very efficient. Which way do we go?
Left is probably a good way to go.
Okay, I'll try my foot now a bit harder, not too hard. I like the whine of the motors.
So I'm not sure about the vehicle you've got, but we've also got active sound design in the car. So
it's inside as outside?
It's just inside. So it will generate an artificial engine sound when we turn that function on, and it will generate that through the speaker system of the car.
Oh.
So now you're on silent mode.
Okay.
I go into settings, all settings, features, active sound design, and I'll turn it right up to dynamic. It's subtle, but when you accelerate under heavier acceleration, it'll generate the sound.
Okay. That's a good opportunity to try here.
Oh, not in the band!
Ready,
Oh my god!
Let's see. Okay, there is this room.
Yeah, a little hovercraft sound.
Straight through. Yeah. That aircon is impressive through the seats.
What's the range of this one?
Real world range, 350 to 370 kilometers.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's definitely doable.
Yep.
Yep. And you don't have to compromise too much on the way that you drive the car. If you are very heavy driving, you're not going to get that sort of range. But if you drive the car fairly normally around, you don't need to compromise on things like air conditioning or sound systems to try and squeeze out to that range. It's very realistic.
Good. And if you can share, how many have sold in Australia?
I wouldn't know the Australian numbers.
Okay.
We have probably done probably more than a dozen.
Okay.
Yeah, we're our build slots are taken up for the vast majority of the year, so probably out until August.
So there's not more coming.
We sort of get, with the production constraints at the moment, where each dealerships are going to be able to get roughly one a month delivered to customers.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll probably get a little bit more than that as we go on through the year. But all the pre-orders are being built first, and anything we sell now is around that August mark.
So are people waiting, like in a line, or?
Yeah, people are. Yeah. So I've got one turning up in March, I've got another one turning up in May, and another one due to come in June.
Patient customers.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
worth
it's
the
worth
wait.
it,
It's
yeah.
worth the wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in terms of customers, are they people already Jaguar customers who have had Jaguar before, or are they from other brands?
I've had people from other brands. Go left, yeah. Yeah, people from other brands for myself. An older gentleman I sold one to has had Jaguars in the past, but he's coming out of a Mercedes-Benz this time round. Another customer of mine works for a company that does the public charging stations and that sort of stuff, so they're the ones that are going to be building public charging stations. So he actually drove one of these before I did.
Okay. It's not a jet charge, by the way.
No, not jet charge. No, no.
Did you choose a good timing? It's still not so much traffic.
It was a solid car, really.
It's very strong, very well built, very well put together.
So now I understand this is now Tata-owned company. Cars are built in Austria.
These ones are, yeah. There are other models that are built in the UK as well.
Okay.
So the E-Paces, I believe, are built in Austria. I believe these ones are built in Austria. Our Range Rovers and those sorts of products are built in the UK. Tata have basically brought a large amount of money to the table
Yes.
for the operations, the engineering, the R&I.
Yeah.
And does it have the speed reading signs?
Yes, it
Speed
does.
sign reading?
Yes.
Or what
Yes.
Yeah.
It's here.
Okay. And like in
How about
What's that
its
called?
school zones? Would
Yeah.
it pick it up only during school hours?
No,
or-
it doesn't have that information programmed into it. So yeah, it'll just pick up it'll recognise the symbol as you drive past.
Yeah.
Those are unfortunately the constraints behind a lot of the traffic reading technology. There's also problems with them picking up speeds on the back of buses.
Sorry,
Just
straight
left-
or
left
left?
too. Yep. Picks up things like the speed on the back of bus as well, but I've had that with other brands where the cameras just detect the symbol on the back of the bus.
And how about updates? Like, do you know if there are like software updates?
Yes. Yep. So you
Over
do.
the air or?
Yes, over-the-air updates. I don't believe they have started yet,
Okay.
but over-the-air updates will be starting in the next few months.
Okay.
Yep, you need to put the SIM card, the data SIM card, into the armrest. As long as that has data available on it, it'll be able to do over-the-air updates for you. And that'll just prompt you in the central screen here when there's one to be done, and you can just activate that when you want to do it.
So that's included in the package as well?
Yes,
or-
it is. Well, you just need to put the data SIM card in, that's
Yeah.
all you'll need to do, and the rest of it will happen.
Left here.
Again.
I understand that this car can accept, was it 100 kilowatts charging?
100 kilowatt charging. It's a 90 kilowatt hour battery. So even if you did plug it into a 350 kilowatt charger, it'll cap what it takes in. So it pulls rather than gets pushed.
Yeah.
So it'll pull up to 100, and that's the most that it will take. So at 100 kilowatts, fastest charging you're going to get to around about 40 minutes. It's 3.5 hours, 3 hours 40 minutes for a 22 kilowatt DC charger,
Okay.
and an AC charger 8 kilowatts at home that you have installed, that's around 13 to 14 hours.
Yeah. So basically, with the chargers, are you going to rely on third parties to install them, or is there any plan in the future for Jaguar to install few around?
At this stage, what we've been told is Jaguar are going to be not going to be doing that. That's not going to be something that Jaguar look at doing. Whether they're planning on it or not, they haven't told us that. They have actually told us that it's going to be third party, at least for the
Yes.
foreseeable future. And I believe that's the way it'll go. It will be third party.
Yes.
Yeah. Jaguar will stick with the manufacturing of the cars and leave it up to external companies to do that. How's it feel compared to your car?
sitting position.
Yep.
Probably getting in and out of the car is easier in this one. The battery, that's what if I can compare, 90 kilowatts. We have a 70 kilowatt hour battery, and that car can do the same amount of kilometers. So obviously it is a thirstier car.
Yep. Okay.
But I'm sure that Jaguar will make them more efficient as they progress.
It's their first
Yeah.
EV car. I think they've done a remarkable job. It's a beautiful car.
Absolutely, yeah. There is a guy who does YouTube videos from England, James Cook, and he recorded and edited that famous video. He titled it as the title says, "The biggest achievement of Tesla, Jaguar I-Pace." And in so many ways that's so true, because it pushed Jaguar understood, and they took action, which is very, very nice and commendable.
They beat the other major manufacturers to the punch.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you got your Audi and Mercedes-Benz on the horizon, but I don't think they're immediately going to drop.
No, it's interesting to see if, let's say, Toyota will come up with something left lane here.
Yeah, we'll go into the left lane. Well, I think they're going to have their hand forced soon as well, because Hyundai now have bought their one out, which I found that quite interesting from a non-premium brand bringing out an electric car. It's good. It competes with the Nissan Leaf.
Yes.
I went back to New Zealand and I was stunned. There were electric cars everywhere.
Yes.
Nissan Leafs were absolutely everywhere in Auckland.
New Zealand is like, I can't remember the number now, but there is at least 10 times more electric cars on the road than here in Australia.
Yeah. It's they had public charging stations everywhere as well. Those sorts of things seem to get implemented over in New Zealand earlier than here. It's a much smaller country. It's easier to develop a network across the country like that.
Is it because there are women in power in New Zealand?
More forward thinking.
And also they have allowed import of used Nissan Leafs from Japan, so that helps.
It's got a massive used import. A lot of the cars over there are import.
Oh no? Oh, okay.
No,
Oh,
not looking.
too late. Left here, yes.
No, next one.
Straight?
Yep. So I'll give you a road to go up that's got a couple of sharp corners in succession. Just for you in the back there.
Shall I hold on to something?
Yeah. Let's give you a feeling for the
Stability.
The stability of the vehicle, the weight balance. We've got 80% of the weight of the vehicle sitting below our feet. So it's the left just after the petrol station.
Okay. Just turn it down a bit because that aircon is so efficient, I must say. Oh, that's the other way.
So you pull the knob out
For the fan.
and then you can change the fan power.
Oh.
Pulling it out one click just changes the functionality of
I see.
the switch.
No, it is there. Now it's back to temperature.
So when you're driving the car on your own, it actually shuts down the temperature to the side of the vehicle, so half the car's air conditioning shuts off, so it just focuses the aircon on
Left
you.
here?
Left here.
Yeah, that's very smart when that is done that way.
Sensor in the seat. So up here you have a 90-degree left followed by a 90-degree right.
Okay.
And you've also got dynamic mode here, which I'll flick you into dynamic, which will change the sensitivity of the throttle. Stiffens up your steering and suspension settings a wee bit as well.
Oh yes.
You'll have video
sounds-
It's
shaking.
much more sensitive now in the pedal.
Yeah, I noticed at the roundabout I was going to put my foot down. You said left, sorry.
Yep, they have left here.
And there was a slight delay. So this.
That's in comfort settings.
Okay.
Yeah, makes the car a little bit less jumpy, makes it a little bit more comfortable to drive every day. Whereas dynamic mode now, it's very touchy.
Yes.
And we're right
does it have a, is it called a lane assist or?
Yes, so standard equipment is lane departure warning and your automatic emergency braking.
Okay.
And then you can option that up with steering assist, adaptive cruise control, and blind spot assist, which will steer you in if you're about to change lanes into another vehicle, and also the lane assist, which will steer you in off a white line as opposed to just vibrating the steering wheel. So those are packages that can go on, or they become standard on higher models.
And what is the base price, the cheapest option of Jaguar I-Pace at the moment?
135,000. Yeah, that will get you in an S in a white car with no options.
Yes. Oops, there is another one.
That's okay.
There.
You can just pull up in here, and I can take care of it for you.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Park.
Yep, park. And then if you open the door, it will just shut down.
Okay, that's handy. Yeah.